buds, and welcome to episode 41 of the Harsh Vocals Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Corbett, and with me is my good friend, Christian Renner. How are you today, man?
Pretty good. Just getting ready. We got some damn good albums this go around.
There's a few, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this cycle, I have my current album of the year and my current death metal album of the year as two of my picks.
Oh.
So that kind of tells you something. That second week in there was super strong.
Yeah, actually, all the picks I have came from that second week, too. The first week, a little underwhelming. There's a few hits, but nothing that really stood out. So I guess let's just dive into it. So the first album we're going to talk about is one of my picks. Switching it up this time because we both agree on whatever the best album was.
Yep.
For once. So the first album is a band Sinsaenum, Sinsaenum. They put out an album called In Devastation. This is blackened death and groove metal from France and the US and Hungary. So it's an international band. Their third full-length album since 2016, although it is the first time I've heard them. So they have two vocalists, and I think it's pretty interesting. One of the vocalists you may know as Attila from Mayhem, and the other one is Sean from Doth. So they've got two
Really
powerhouse vocalists on this band. They have the bassist from the band Seth from France, who we're huge fans of.
Damn.
And then they have two guitarists who are in about 20 bands each. So it's really kind of a super group. The one thing I will say, some of the clean singing on the album takes a little bit of getting used to. I don't think it's as egregious as something like the Bale album we talked about last time. It's just a little bit taste specific.
Yeah.
It did take me a couple of listens before I really appreciated it, but it's not nearly as hard to appreciate as some of the other clean singing we've talked about in previous episodes. However, the harsh vocals are top tier, and the music is just full of aggression, full of passion. I really loved it. What did you think of this one, Christian?
Well, I don't know what track you picked, but to me, my favorite on that was track 6, Spiritual Lies. Fuck, that is an absolute banger of a song. I just absolutely love that song. This was really, really close to being a pick for me as well. It has that old school aggression without adding flowery parts, which a lot of bands seem to do. This is still melodic, but not in a way that sometimes feels like it's too much. Like there's definitely melody there, but it's used sparingly.
The melody comes from the groove. It's not really from, it's like groove-based melody rather than melody. Yeah.
Yeah.
The track I picked is actually the title track, In Devastation, which is the first track on the album. It really just kind of gives you a good feel for what the whole album is going to be like. And if you like this one, I highly encourage you to go and check out the whole album because it's just more of this. Just really, really good. Yeah. So let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Sinsaenum off of their album In Devastation, and the track that we're going to play is In Devastation. say it every episode. It's one of those that just makes me want to keep listening. So
Yeah, it's a really good album. If it wouldn't have been a pick for you, it probably would have been a pick for me, or at least really, really close.
All right, let's move on. What's your first pick, Christian?
All right, my first pick is going to be Terror Society. The album is called The Scars of Mankind. We have Death/Thrash from Santiago, Chile. This is their second album on Chargola Records, or maybe Charjola. I don't know. Chargola Records and Production. The track that I picked is My Last Days. And this here, it's just because it has that old school thrash vibe that just feels like a warm blanket. And if you're missing that old school vibe as much as I do on occasion, this will 100% put a smile on your face. Just think late 80s Nuclear Assault, but with more variety and groove. Nuclear Assault was always kind of one note, and this here has way more variety than that. This is such an overload of that New York City thrash vibe of the late 80s. It reminded me of those days walking everywhere with my Walkman and a handful of TDK D90 cassette tapes, that I had traded for or recorded off the album that I had just bought. This just gave me like a nostalgia trip like no other. This is simply an absolute banger of a New York style thrash album, full stop. If you like that New York style of thrash, you're going to absolutely love this album. There's no way around it. This is just, it just feels good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun too. Thrash, as I say, is not my favorite subgenre, but I did listen to the whole album because Christian was talking about it so much. And yeah, it's fun from beginning to end. I don't think it'll make my end of your list, but I totally see why you love it.
Yeah, it's just a very, very, very solid thrash album from a band that I wasn't familiar with. So here we are.
All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Terror Society off of the album The Scars of Mankind, and the track that Christian picked is My Last Days.
Alrighty, that was Terror Society, and yeah, tell me that doesn't sound like New York's style thrash, man. That's 100%. 100%.
It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to my next pick. This is the band Finistère, Finistere. They put out an album called Am Grauen Meer. This is melodic black metal from Germany, their second full-length album since 2021. Their name technically means End of the Lands in French, and the album title means At the Grey Sea. Couldn't really find out much more information about the band. The members all have disguised names, so there's not a lot to actually talk about. But the music itself, it's a little bit lo-fi, a little bit rawer production. Not terribly bad, but just a little bit lo-fi. Full of emotion, which is why I gravitated to it. I listened to this one probably 10 times. It was one of the later ones that I discovered, but it's kind of been on repeat for the last 2 days for me. And it's really good. I enjoy it a lot. Christian, what did you think of this one?
Well, I didn't even have it on my list, so when you mentioned it, that it was going to be a pick for you, I was like, oh shit, I hadn't even heard this. So I gave it a quick listen this morning, actually, and I definitely see why you like it. It's a little too lo-fi for me. I'm still not 100% there on the lo-fi. I can get close. I'm just not 100% there yet. And so, like, I 100% see why you like it. It's just not for me. But it's definitely good.
But
yeah.
Anyways, the track that I chose to play is called Hartwarden. It's the next to last track on the end of the album. Really just a powerful, emotion-filled song, much like all the songs on the album are. But I thought this one was a really good representation of what you'll hear throughout the album. So if you like this, I think you'll like everything. Again, the band name is Finistère, off their album Am Grauen Meer, and the track is Hartwarden. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, that was Finistère with Hartwarden. Just a
Just
pretty
so you
powerful
know,
song.
I didn't hate it. It just wasn't for me. But the level of emotion in this album is like right up there with the level of emotion that was in that one track that I really liked from Garia's last album, that Wilted Flower, was it? Yeah, it has that level of emotion throughout this album. So yeah, I definitely see why you gravitated towards it.
Yeah, it's just that somber, melancholic black metal that I love. So
Yeah.
I can never get enough of that stuff.
And I'm an old dude. My heart is hard as a rock at this point. So probably more to do with, I don't know, fatty deposits than anything. Cholesterol. Who the fuck knows? Alrighty. Well, my next pick is the band Harvested. The album is called, God damn it, I've been practicing trying to say the dysthmia. Is that how you'd say it? Dysthmia?
I would say dysthemia. Dysthemia.
Dysthmia. Yeah, it kind of feels weird to even say it. But we have death metal from Ottawa, Canada, and this is a debut album. They are unsigned, and after debut, I put question mark, like, how the fuck? I know we harp on this a lot. Like, how is this a debut album? How is this a debut album? And a lot of times, that's a very valid question. On this album, I would say, since we've been doing the show, this is the biggest surprise that this was a debut album out of anything that I've heard since we've been doing the show, because I would swear up and down that this was not a debut. Like I said, it's becoming a common refrain. How the fuck is this a debut fucking album? I really shouldn't curse that much, but listen to this album and tell me you think this is a debut. From the album art, which is incredibly professional looking, to the pitch perfect production, incredibly in-depth songwriting, this just screams a band's maybe fifth album, but certainly not their first. This has been an incredible year for death metal, and we keep talking about it. And here's how much I like this album. This is currently my favorite death metal album of the year. Out of all the death metal that's been really, really good this year, I think this beats them all. And I can't harp on this enough, and I apologize for coming back to this again, but this is a debut. I was so surprised. I even looked up other bands these guys have been in, and there's nothing of super real note. It's not like these guys have spent a decade playing with Cannibal Corpse or Morbid Angel or Obituary, or I even have a friend in Ottawa where these guys are from, and I sent him a message and asked if he had even heard of these guys or if he had any sort of info on them. He did not. And guess what I'm saying is, if you like death metal at all, I would be absolutely shocked if you don't love this album. Maybe these guys have been just living with these songs for 10 fucking years and they've just got them down to a science at this point. I don't know, but holy fuck is this album strong.
Yeah, if it hadn't been a pick for you, it would have been a pick for me. It's everything you're saying. It's a super impressive debut. Hard to believe these guys are unsigned. Like you said, they haven't really been in a lot of extremely successful bands. I know that two of the members were in A Scar for the Wicked, which we talked about on a previous episode. So, I mean, they have at least had some level of success, but this might be the band that they really break through with because it's a really damn impressive death metal album. Yeah. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite death metal album of the year so far, because there were a couple that I've had a lot more time with that I really and truly love. But it's definitely one that I will be returning to many times before the end of the year. So it certainly has the potential to land high on my list. But yeah, it's a killer album.
Yeah. There's some, it probably ranks so high for me because there's plenty of like thrash riffing going on in there, which adds a little extra dimension to it. So that's probably why I gravitated to it as strongly as I did. Yeah. For me to pick a death metal album over a thrash metal album that I'm picking is kind of rare. So
that's true.
This is a really good fucking album.
All right, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Harvested off the album Dysthemia. Sure. And the name of the track is Designed Dilemma.
Tell me that's a debut.
Yeah, that's a killer
Tell
track.
me that's a fucking debut. Jesus Christ.
It's really hard to believe. Yeah, it's really.
How are these
too good
bands
for
this
an
good
unsigned
this
debut.
soon? Just so fucking strong.
I don't know.
This quick. Jesus Christ. Well,
Yeah,
I think what
impressive.
happens
It's
is
always impressive.
I remember back when I was in a band, and we were nowhere near this fucking level of talent. Just not even. And we weren't terrible, but like first album, no fucking way. There's no way we would have come up with shit like this. No way. But maybe that's why I'm doing
Well,
this.
I think just with the nature of how we consume music these days, like even if you don't consume as much music as you and I do, people that are in bands, like they have access to a massive library of stuff that they wouldn't have been able to hear back then. So they hear
take
things
those
that they like,
influences.
and they're able to take ideas and expand on them. And so I think just the fact that music just keeps propelling itself forward leads to so many of these amazing unsigned and debut albums, just because there's so much other good stuff to draw inspiration from. And when you were in the 80s, you had some great thrash metal bands and stuff, but it was not like today. And you didn't have nearly the same amount of stuff to draw from. So
And then you have to count on, record labels finding shit. Nowadays, like we've said before, you can release an album on your own. Perfect example is going to be the last album we talk about.
Yeah. Which you want to talk about crazy that a band's unsigned. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's talk about my favorite album from the past 2 weeks. So this one almost snuck under our radar because it's a Japanese band. And unfortunately, the Japanese bands, because they're not in English usually, are just harder to find because we don't really know how to translate and look up the album titles and whatnot. But luckily, they had an English album title, so I was able to find it. The band's called Asunojokei, Asunojokei, and the album is called Think of You. So this is a really unusual mixture of like Japanese rock music with black gaze with a little bit of post-black and hardcore. These guys are from Tokyo. It's their third full-length album since 2014. It's a mesmerizingly beautiful album. If you were ever a fan of J-rock at all, if you were ever a fan of like upbeat, powerfully emotional, positive sounding music mixed with very bleak style vocals, you'll absolutely love this because that's what it is. I couldn't get enough of this album. This is definitely my most listened to album of the entire 2 week cycle. It has everything everything I should love in it, because I love Japanese rock music. I've been a big fan of lots of Japanese rock bands over the last 20 years. Maybe I haven't really talked about that before, but there's tons of bands that I like, and it's really interesting to hear it blended with black metal this way. What did you think of this one, Christian?
This album is just 100% a fucking blast to listen to. It's a fun listen. And on the face of it, this really shouldn't work. Japanese rock music mixed with black metal. And to be honest, it's a testament to the songwriting ability to mix these genres and have it work. This is upbeat. It's happy sounding until the vocals come in, and then you get a completely different vibe. And Jesus Christ, like I said, this is just a fun album. I really, really like this. If I could find this on vinyl, I'd be on this like white on rice, because this is one of those albums I think would be even better on vinyl. And just so you all know, it's not over the top levels of this Japanese rock music. It's maybe, what would you say, 25%, and the rest is more traditional black metal. It's almost like they use it as it's like an underlying melody in a lot of the songs. Yeah. So it's not the focus of the song, but they're using it in there to add variety and I guess to make the song more interesting, which it definitely does. And it's not the same style every single song. They do different things each song. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're kind of repeating themselves with however they mix in this J-rock. There's tons of variety on this album. I really like this album a lot too. This is a really good album.
Yeah. It's truly unique. There's a lot of bands that try to blend styles like that are polar opposites of each other, and it doesn't usually work very well, but like it's like all the best parts of Alcest but seen through a J-rock filter.
Yeah.
That's really the best way I can describe it. So if you like those post-black style metal bands and you're also a fan of J-rock, like this is for you. This is 100% for me. And I'll be shocked if this isn't very high on my end of your list, because it just keeps getting better with repeat listens too.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Anyhow, the track that I chose to play is the fourth track on the album, which translates just simply to Angel. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Again, this is Asunojokei off their album Think of You, and the track is Angel.
私は知らせ
Yeah, and I know I've said this on every single track I've played, but if you enjoy that track, you will love the whole album.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So definitely check this out if any of what I've said sounds appealing.
This wasn't my number one album of the 2-week stretch, but it is actually my most listened to album of this stretch because it's as close as like an easy listening album as you're gonna fucking get, where black metal's involved. It's just a super easy. I don't want to say easy listening like the genre, but like it's easy to listen to this album. You don't have to be doing anything in particular. You don't have to pay super close attention to you, but it definitely draws you in every single time every time you hear it. So
I think a better term is it's an all-purpose album, right?
Yeah.
So like we can listen to it while we're doing other things. We can listen to it while we're focused on it. And that's rare. Most albums are either or. It's very rare to find one that's both. So kudos to these guys.
If you sit and listen to this, listen to this, you're gonna definitely hear things on the 10th listen that you didn't hear on the first. It's one of those albums that you'll find new things the more you listen to it.
100%. All right, well, let's move on to what you and I both consider to be the true best album of the cycle.
And this album is stunningly fucking good. We have Blackbraid, simply called 3. We have Atmospheric Black Metal. This is their third album, and they are unsigned. And like we were just talking about that, I'm starting to think this is on purpose. He has to be. He had to have gotten offers by now because he's doing.
He's
very
definitely
well.
been courted. He wants to do this on his own. Yeah.
And hey, more power to you. If you can pull that off, if you got people in your corner that can help out, and hey, he's headlining a U.S. tour coming up that is going to be fucking phenomenal with Dodsrit and Lamp of Murmur. If this tour is coming anywhere near you, you need to go. I've got my tickets. I'm driving up to Minneapolis. It's a 4-hour fucking drive, but I don't care. I'm going to this show.
I'm making a 4-hour drive to Dallas, so yeah, I'll be at that show.
Yeah, all three of those bands are fucking phenomenal, and on the strength of this album, dear Lord. Okay, where was I at? The track that I picked is The Dying Breath of a Sacred Stag, and honestly, the reason I picked this is just epic as fuck. This song just sounds huge, while at the same time feeling completely personal. Is a masterclass in songwriting, and I didn't even notice it on the first few listens. This gets me to what I thought my biggest issue would be with this album, and that's the interludes or instrumentals, whatever you want to call them, because there's 4 of them out of the 10 tracks on here. There's 4. That's a little bit overkill, but eventually I think I see the reason. And I think these interludes and instrumentals, they offer a bit of a break and a chance to relax a moment before that next oral assault just rolls over you with more of that epic feel. And I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a really bad job explaining this. Like a perfect example, one of the interludes is called Earth is Weeping. And it seriously feels like you're sitting around a campfire and thinking, about the next oral assault or about what you just heard. And this is the song that's right after the track that I picked. And that's where the switch kind of flipped for me. And I see the reason for these instrumentals, or at least I think I do. I don't know. I didn't talk to him, but
so atmospheric black metal typically seems to focus on nature as a theme, right?
Yeah.
It's not always, but a lot of the time nature is a theme, and especially for Blackbraid. He really tends to put in a lot of his heritage into this because he's Native American and that's his whole thing. And so I feel like these interlude tracks are really just sort of, if you look at them as kind of a peaceful sort of recentering of yourself in nature before you move on to the horrors, because the more aggressive tracks definitely feel like the horrors of nature. The breathing tracks feel like the peaceful aspects. Yeah. So I feel like he really just tries to capture all the different levels of peace through harmony, through chaos and beyond. So you kind of get a little bit of everything in these songs. It's, like you said, it's incredibly well done. The Blackbraid 1 album was really good. It had some flaws, I thought. The second album was a fantastic album from beginning to end. This one's even better than the second one. This guy has incredible writing chops. It's definitely his best album.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he's got a massive following now because he's so talented. So, you know, as I've said with every other album, if you like this song, you'll probably like the whole thing.
And
it may take some getting used to the interlude type stuff, but just bear with it because it's worth getting through.
And even those interludes, I'm talking about them, but they're really well done. They're not 7 minutes of walking through the woods. So
most of them are 3 minutes or less, and they're very pretty.
Yeah, they're very, very pretty. And so he's one of those artists that, you know, I hear that there's a pre-order coming up. I'm going to order it. I did it with this one, and it should be here, I think, tomorrow, the album. And if you can get this on vinyl, absolutely get it on vinyl. The packaging is fucking fantastic. The artwork, everything about it is top tier. And again, this guy's doing this all on his own. He's unsigned, and like we said, I seriously think he wants it that way. So either that or he's holding out for a really big fucking offer, which, hey, if you can do that, more power to you, man.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Blackbraid off album 3, and the track is The Dying Breath of a Sacred Stag. So good.
Yeah.
Simply
the
so
riffing
good.
in that, and then there's I think it's about like 2 minutes in or a minute and a half in or something. There's this ride that the drummer's doing. This fucking it just worked for me so fucking well. Just the way he does that ride cymbal, just oh fuck, that was really really well done. That was just as a drummer, you're just sitting there and you're saying the groan worthy shit like, oh, that's tasty, that's tasty.
All right, well, that does it for our picks for this episode. Let's go ahead and move on to our honorable mentions real quick. I'll let Christian go through his first.
Yeah, I have a much larger list as usual. The first one is Firstborn. The album is called Lucky. We have heavy metal hard rock from the United States. I'm guessing it didn't really say. This is their second album from M Theory Audio. Now, I don't know how many people listening to this will be aware of any of the names that I'm about to mention, but you have Girish on vocals. He's a singer for a band called Girish and the Chronicles. It's an Indian band that's fucking really, really good. You have James Lamenza, used to be in Megadeth and Black Label Society. You have Chris Adler, ex-Lamb of God. And then, oddly enough, I don't know what the fuck is up with this, but it's just a guy named Myron on the guitar. Now, it doesn't say anything else about this guy. It doesn't say any other bands that he's been in, but I'm assuming if he's friends with Girish, a guy from Megadeth, and a guy from Lamb of God, that he's somewhat known. I would assume he's just not some guy working at the 7-Eleven on the corner, but it's just Myron the guitarist. So take that for what it is.
All right.
And if you like, it's just your basic heavy metal hard rock that you would pick up from the 80s. It's going to feel just like what you remember. Next, we have Escapism. The album is called Skreznava. We have atmospheric black metal from Lviv, Ukraine. This is their third album from Naturmacht Productions. And if you like Drudg, Agalok, or Ulver, you're going to like this. And this was flirting with becoming a pick as well. There's only 4 tracks on this album, and they're all very long. Just take that for what it's worth. Then we have Barbarous.
It's another hallmark of atmospheric black metal.
Yeah. Barbarous Initium Mors. We have death metal from Oakland, California. This is their debut album. They are on Creator Destructor Records. If you like Krot, Tomb Mold, Grave, or even Bolt Thrower and the thrashier moments that they have, you're going to dig this. Then we have Hedonist, Scapulomancy. Jesus Christ. Why can't people use real words? We have death metal from Victoria, Canada. This is their debut album on Southern Lord Recordings. These boys sound a lot like old school Bolt Thrower. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, you're going to like this. Also, a little bit of Benediction, a little bit of Obituary, but mainly just that old school death metal vibe. Then we have Terror Dome, Plagued with Violence, thrash/crossover from Krakow, Poland. This is their 4th album from Self-Made God Records. And this is for fans of Municipal Waste, Suicidal Tendencies, and of course you can't mention any sort of crossover without mentioning DRI. Then we have Paralysis, Spiral of Suffering. We have thrash, again, crossover. Long Valley, New Jersey. This is their 3rd album. They are unsigned. If you like Enforced, Toxic Holocaust, and what did I just say? DRI. You will like this because they have some crossover. Then we have Runenwacht, Das letzte Geleit, which means the last escort. And we have black metal from Esslingen, Germany. This is their 8th full-length plus a split plus a compilation album plus an EP since 2013. So I didn't check out all
Busy
the other
guys.
ones, but dear Lord, that's a lot of fucking work. If you like Windeer, the band Horn, or even I guess Bathory would even work in this. You'll probably like this. And then finally, Victim of Fire, The Old Lie. We have death metal from Denver, Colorado. Fucking Denver again. This is their 3rd album. They are unsigned. I swear to God, record executives just need to listen to our show. And
I agree.
Then you would find who you need to sign next, because we seem to find it pretty regularly.
We always have like 5 or 6 unsigns every episode.
And trust me, if they're making the cut from 70 fucking releases this week, it's probably pretty good. But this band, Victim of Fire, if you were to mix Entombed with In Flames, Dismember, and a very slight touch of Iron Maiden, you're going to get very close to what these guys do, Victim of Fire. And if that sounds like an interesting mix,
I actually liked most of the album.
Yeah, give it a listen. There's just some straight up heavy metal in there mixed in with that death. And it's just so fucking well done. The melody sections remind me a lot of how Iron Maiden used melody. It's not going to be Iron Maiden sounding, but the melody that they kind of use in the same way that Iron Maiden use it, they do it here as well on certain songs, not on all of them. But
yeah, some of the like classic heavy metal parts I didn't love, but I did like most of the album. It was pretty good. So
yeah,
if you like classic heavy metal and the more extreme stuff, I think you'll dig it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all you got?
Yep, that's all I have.
All right. Well, moving on to mine, I have a much shorter list as usual. The first one is a band called Centuries of Decay. They put out an album called A Monument to Oblivion. This is progressive death metal from Canada, their second full length since 2014. Also an unsigned band. These guys were in contention for being a pick pretty much the whole cycle. I really, really like this album, but it's not going to be for everybody. It's a little bit slower than a lot of things, and it's full of emotion. The progressive elements are incredibly well done, but all of the songs are 9.5 minutes long or longer. There is one song that's like 6.5 minutes, but it's the slowest song on the album. So I couldn't really justify playing it on the show, but I really enjoyed this album. So I hope that if you like progressive death metal, you'll check these guys out.
I really, really like this album as well. And it was seriously in contention for a pick probably up until like 3 or 4 days previous. And then I was listening to it and Jesus Christ, it just felt exhausting. Like the length of the songs, like they're really, really good. But my God, by the time you get to the end of that album, you're just like, Jesus Christ, I need a break. Like I feel like I just helped somebody move or something. It's like, God damn. But it's insanely well done. And so, yeah, go on. I just had to throw that in there.
No, that's fine. I hope people check it out.
Yeah.
All right, so the next band is one that I'm totally going to butcher the name of, so I'm just going to let Christian pronounce it.
The band is called Mehrwertsteuer, which means value-added tax. And the album is called Krone der Schöpfung, which means crown of creation.
Yeah, so these guys are obviously from Germany. It's their debut album since 2024. They're a combination of melodic black and death metal. As Christian mentioned, the name means value-added tax. According to Metallum and some other things I've read, they're entirely a parody band, and all of the songs are about finances, which I find very amusing.
Such a great idea.
Yeah.
Fuck Satan.
It's a solo project it's a solo project of a guy named Der Vorstus. But yeah, music itself is really good. It's aggressive melodic black and death metal. It's a little bit inconsistent, but like it's a 7.5 out of 10 kind of album. Really good overall, especially for being something that's not super serious, tongue-in-cheek kind of content lyrically wise. So it's worth checking out. I think it's a lot of fun. What did you think of that one, Christian?
I actually really dug it. They reminded me if you wanted something that sounds similar, they reminded me a lot of Non Est Deus and maybe a little bit of, what did I have down here? Asphyx. Yeah, a little bit of Asphyx in there. But I really
hear both
dug
of those
this.
for sure.
Yeah, I really dug this. And if he's seriously just doing this as a joke, his joke songwriting is pretty fucking good. So
yeah, I'd like to see him write like a more serious album.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I hate taxes too. So maybe we should have more. I'm just picturing everybody at the Fed or something like hardcore listening to this. Everybody at the IRS just like, oh, have you heard the new Mehrwertsteuer album? Yeah, that's kind of where my mind goes. Yeah, whatever.
That's pretty funny. All right. Well, the next one I have is Ancient Torment. They put out an album called Follow the Echo of Curses.
Yeah.
This is black metal from Rhode Island, their debut album since 2016. These guys are also unsigned. So this one's kind of that lo-fi black metal. I liked it a lot. Obviously, it's not going to be for everybody. If you don't like that lo-fi sound, you probably won't dig it as much. But there's a lot of really interesting melodies in this. And even though the first song doesn't really grab you like you would expect an album to, if you make it to the middle of the album, you're pretty much hooked. This was one that I listened to like 3 or 4 times, and it was very close to being a pick. I think those small little imperfections in the beginning of the album kept it from being that. But if you like that lo-fi sound, you'll find a lot to appreciate here. Next is the band Phantom Fire. They put out an album called Phantom Fire. Speed black metal from Norway, their 3rd full-length album since 2021. If you enjoy speed metal mixed with black metal in the vein of Hellripper, but with kind of a Norwegian twist, I think you'll like this. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, and there's a lot of inconsistencies in the songs because they have guest vocalists on pretty much every single track, but it's a fun album overall. And then the very last one that I have is the band Plasmodulated. They put out an album called An Ocean of Putrid, Stinky, Vile, Disgusting Hell. What a title. Death metal from Florida. I see where they got the title. Debut album since 2021. This is a great death metal album with a lot of really cool ideas in it. Everything in their storyline is like space-centered. We've seen a lot of that in black metal, but maybe not in death metal so much lately. But everything's very much about space and beyond the stars and aliens and weird encounters. And I thought it was a lot of fun. Did you hear this one, Christian?
I heard it. It wasn't for me.
Okay.
If I remember right, I think the vocals were just too samey. If I remember, if that's the one that I'm thinking of it as.
Yeah, that could be a turnoff. It is that. The only real negative I have is that the vocals are a little bit samey throughout. There's some songs that have some variation, but they're not nearly varied enough. Like if they did the 2 vocal styling thing, I think it would work a lot better. But musically, it's a lot of fun. Anyways, that does it for my honorable mentions. So let's move on to our theme for this episode. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, our theme is our favorite vocalists. Christian and I both made a list of our top 5, although we couldn't really restrict ourselves to 5, so we do have a few extras we're going to talk about.
Yep.
But how do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about yours first?
You want to just go back and forth? Go 5 to 1?
Sure, we can do back and forth. That's fine.
All right, I'll start out. My number 5 is Michael Stana from Dark Tranquillity. He's hands down probably my favorite melodic death metal vocalist, and he's got such a great voice. It doesn't matter the type of style. He's just a consummate professional. And live, fucking killer. Just amazing live. Mm-hmm. And he brings the emotion. Everything about him on album, you will hear live. So you're never going to hear something that sounds way better on the record than you're going to hear in concert. That I've had plenty of that through the years, where there's certain bands I could name that I've seen live, and I was just like, what the fuck? Do they have a new vocalist? Because that does not sound like that guy. So yeah, Michael Stana, and plus hell of a nice guy. You can't beat that. So
yeah,
Michael Stana is my number
I actually
5.
have him as my number 4. Yeah, so Michael Stana is my number 4, and I'll echo everything you said. Not only is he an incredible performer, both live and in recordings, but his persona is just a guy who thoroughly enjoys what he's doing. And he's always fun to watch. He's always having a good time.
Probably one of the most grateful musicians I've ever met. The guy was just super, like, oh, thanks for buying the album. He's been doing this for 30 fucking years. He doesn't have to, like, kiss my ass. But, yeah, hell of a nice guy. Sits there, fucking talks to everybody. Great guy.
And super talented, too.
Yeah.
His clean vocals are like butter. They're just amazing no matter where he's doing them. But he also does exceptional growls. And, there's a lot of musicians out there that are excellent at one or the other, but can't really pin down both. And as far as in the melodic death metal realm, there's only like a few that are even in that category for being like one of the best, and he's one of the best. So definitely deserving of being on this list.
And just so you know, with all the ass kissing we're doing from Michael Stana, if you'd like to do an interview, let us know. I would love to interview him.
We'd love to do an interview with Michael Stana, 100%.
Yeah.
So my number 5 is actually ICS Vortex. Clean singing is a thing for me. I don't love it unless it's done exceptionally well. There are very, very few people who can sing like Vortex in this world. His voice is truly unique, instantly recognizable, and just simply incredible. He's been in bands like Arcturus. He's been in Dimmu Borgir, Borknagar, all bands that I love. And he added an element of depth to all those bands that just didn't exist previously. I just love Vortex's voice. I don't really know what else I can say.
He's one of my favorites as well. He isn't in my top 5, but yeah, his work with Dimmu alone would make me put him up there because, he's got a style all his own. And it works so well in the extreme metal genres. And it's phenomenal. And
the only person that can even come close to him is Lars Nedlund and Borknagar. They have a similar approach to their vocal stylings, and they're both truly unique sounds and sort of in the same vein. So hearing both of them together on an album and instantly being able to detect which one of them is singing which part and everything, I don't know, like the last 2 Borknagar albums are just really impressive to me just because of their combination. But I felt like I could only pick one clean singer to talk about. I'm going to pick Vortex, although I do love Lars's voice too.
Alrighty, my number 4, I have Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian. I don't have the aversion to clean vocals that Justin has, and Hansi is one of my favorites. And honestly, the reason is because he has kind of an edge to his voice. Most power metal vocalists, like in Stratovarius, in Edguy, they have very, very pretty high-pitched voices, and Hansi doesn't always do that. He'll lower the register. He'll add a scream in there. He just does a great fucking job of mixing it up. And from everything that I've seen, there's been tons of times where I don't know if he has trouble saying no, because he all of a sudden guest vocals on like some very underground band that like maybe have 14 followers on Spotify or something. And next thing you know, it's like Hansi Kirsch is doing guest vocals for them. So obviously, on top of being insanely talented, the guy's an incredibly nice guy. Hell, I have a picture with him. He had no problem with that. So I met him out in the street in front of the venue. He just happened to be walking around. So, hell of a nice guy.
Nice.
Great singer. Pulls it off live. Yeah, phenomenal singer. I love the guy. So who's your number 4?
As I mentioned, it was Michael Stana.
Right. That's right.
So who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Chuck Billy from Testament. I think he's hands down one of the very best thrash metal vocalists out today. He can do death metal growls. He can do that straight up thrash metal vocal style. His cleans ain't great, but they're not terrible either. So, but we're talking thrash metal here, and at least Testament has never came up with a load or reload album. They never tried to play hard rock. So they've pretty much stayed true to exactly what the fuck they do from the beginning to where they are right now. And Chuck Billy's vocals have, if anything, I think they've improved through the years. I think his singing today is actually better than it was 10 years ago. So just that alone, I guess I could have also put Mark Osagueda in this spot, because he's a phenomenal fucking vocalist too. It was actually kind of funny when they did the Bay Strikes Back tour, where they had Death Angel opened, and if I remember correctly, Exodus, and then it was Testament. Then Exodus played, and then Testament played. And when you start out with Mark Osagueda and you end up with Chuck Billy, and then you have Zetro, that the Exodus vocalist, fine for what he does, and I love Exodus vocals, but they are not on the level of Mark Osagueda or Chuck Billy. I love their music, but we're not talking the same level. So, but still fun. That incredible show that I saw in Houston, which was awesome. So,
Nice.
Yeah. So Chuck Billy's my number 3. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is the one and only Isan, or Ishan, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I always say Isan. And not only is he a super talented songwriter and has been doing it for 30 plus years, he has a truly unique voice and some of the best black metal screeches and growls anywhere. Not only does he have a great clean singing voice, but he can really make the black metal sounds better than just about anybody. So I just love Isan's stuff. He hasn't put out a single thing that I've hated. So I'm a fan.
Yeah. I honestly think that part of what made Emperor so good was his vocals. I think
100%.
He added that extra little something to go along with his phenomenal guitar playing skills. But yeah, great choice.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 will be Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth. Opeth is one of my favorite bands. He's a phenomenal harsh vocalist. His cleans are really, really, really good as well. I wouldn't say they're as good as his harsh on the same level. But yeah, if you listen to Face of Melinda, which is all clean all the way through, yeah, he's got a great clean voice too. But his harsh vocals is what got me to finally let go of my aversion to harsh vocals. It was a process, but Opeth was the one that really got me over that hump. And seeing them live just cemented everything. If you ever get a chance to see Opeth live, whether you like their latest few albums or not, just fucking go. You're going to have a great time. They're phenomenal live. His voice sounds just as good live as it does on record. So, yeah, Michael Ackerfeld, my number 2 vocalist.
Yeah, everybody loves him, and there's no denying his growls are exceptional. The cleans, something about him just never quite gelled with me the way they have with a lot of other people, but he's obviously mad talented. But my next person, probably a lot of other people feel the same way about. So, number 2 for me is actually Vil Leiheile from the band Sentenced. So if you've been listening to the show for a while, Sentenced is one of my all-time favorite bands. One of the first truly emotionally driven bands that I fell in love with, and one that I revisit all the time. I don't think there's a vocalist out there that can convey emotion in metal quite as strongly as he can. Just the pain that comes through in those songs is magnificent. And it's not like anybody else I've heard since him. If you've never heard Sentenced, any of their stuff, I highly recommend going back and checking it out, because you're missing out. There's some amazing albums from them.
Yeah, I completely agree with that choice too. And not just his ability to convey sadness, but like sarcasm. The song "Excuse Me While I Kill Myself," like,
right?
It seriously sounds sarcastic the way he's singing it. So yeah,
well,
it's
like
so good.
He's a good front man, not just a good singer, right? And so they wrote these songs that are obviously full of depression and angst and sadness, but then there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff as well, like "Excuse Me While I Kill Myself." And I mean, there are other bands that try to do similar things, like Children of Bodom try to do that a lot with like the jokey kind of songs, but it never really felt like it fit. It always felt like a gimmick or something jokey. Yeah. When you're listening to Crimson from Sentenced and you hear "Excuse Me While I Kill Myself," it's like the song fits.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem out of place sandwiched between two despairing songs. It's just like a little moment of jovialness or like a comical look at how it's almost like all I can do is laugh at this point because everything sucks so much. And it's fucking relatable for me. Like everything Sentenced has ever done is relatable to me for those reasons. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't really dive into that. But yeah, I love Sentenced. They're hands down one of my favorite bands.
One of mine as well. And finally, for my number 1, and this is going to seem a little bit like cheating if you've been keeping track, I like clean vocals, and so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have a 3-way tie for first place. We have what I consider the greatest metal vocalist of all time, Ronnie James Dio, but not far away is Bruce Dickinson, and not far away is Rob Halford. I would say if you had 3 horsemen of the apocalypse of metal singers, this would be it. you're not going to get a whole lot of argument from just about anybody, as far as except
me,
except Justin. But
I'll say I agree with Dio. Those other two, they belong way lower.
But for the majority of metal fans that like clean vocals, let's just put it this way: these three guys have been on lists of best vocalists since 1980 until today. So, yeah, when you're talking 45 years, holy shit, you can't get much better than those three. All of them have incredible fucking range. But for me, if you made me pick one, I would take Ronnie James Dio. Just, man, I don't think I have ever actually, cried when I heard somebody famous died. But I certainly cried when I found out Dio died. Holy shit. That was rough.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. The clean singers that are on those pedestals, a lot of them never really meant a whole lot to me, but Dio did. I've always liked Dio's stuff. So it was definitely a hard loss.
Especially fucking cancer. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it for me. Who's your number one?
Well, my number one might not be a surprise to anybody in our friend group, but for listeners, it might shock you. I love this guy's voice. I think he's one of the most talented vocalists out there. His range is incredible. He also is one of those people that has trouble saying no because he does guest spots on tons and tons of different albums to varying degrees of success. But he's never the reason for that. He's always on point. Sometimes the bands he says yes to just aren't that good. But Bjorn Speed Strid from the band Soilwork. I absolutely love his voice. It's my favorite voice in metal. It's been my favorite voice in metal since I was 20. He can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. I love Night Flight Orchestra. I love Soilwork. I love anything he guests on. He just makes it all better. So yeah, that's it for me. Great cleans, great harshes, lots and lots of range in both, and a truly unique voice that doesn't sound like anybody else. So,
and there's a ton of people we could also mention that are right there too. I think one of my honorable mentions would be Jeff Keith from Tesla. I just love the sound of his voice. I don't think it's incredible or anything. It's just the sound is just his tone is just something that I'm really drawn to, especially I still on a very regular basis listen to Tesla's Mechanical Resonance. I absolutely love that album. And his voice sounds phenomenal on that album. So he would definitely be one. Of course, it's not that his voice was phenomenal or anything, but it was definitely unique. And he just passed. So Ozzy, he didn't have a great voice or anything, but you definitely knew who it was. The moment.
It was recognizable. Yeah, nobody else sounds like him.
And of course, there's tons of others that we're probably leaving off that, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I have a couple I wrote down.
Right.
One of them's Neige from Alcest.
Yeah.
He has such a really pretty, flowery voice when he does his cleans, and then his harsh vocals are as good as they can be. Plus nobody else really sounds like Neige. Nobody else has that same kind of beauty to their voice. And I don't know if it's just because he's French and he has an accent and that's what alludes to that, or if it's just his natural sound, but I've always loved his voice. And then a more recent one, Guilherme Henrique, who's better known as the voice of Garia. We've raved about Garia many, many times on the show, and I have such a love for passion in the vocals. I don't think there's anybody in a new band that's doing it as well as Garia. There's so much pain and anguish in his vocals, and it just really comes across better than anybody else. Gary is one of my favorite bands simply because of how powerful the vocal delivery is. So those are two that I didn't mention in my top 5, but they're definitely up there for me.
I could see that. You're a huge Garia fan, so that's not a surprise at all. Alrighty.
Yeah. Yep, that does it for our vocalist discussion. So I guess we can move on to pickups. Yeah. Have you picked up anything cool recently?
Actually have. I was at a local store just recently, and apparently a metalhead sold in a bunch of his shit. Because, well, first of all, I picked up the new Rise Against album. I'm a big Rise Against fan. If anybody wasn't aware, I love that they're easily the best modern punk band out there right now. At that same place, I picked up the latest Ghost album, Skeletor. They had it there for like $16, so fuck it. Then for $24, I found a OG copy of South of Heaven from Slayer, which shocked the fuck out of me because I even scanned it to make sure, looking at it, and it popped up on Discogs as it's a legit OG copy. And the last one sold for, I think it said $180, and I picked this up for $24. I already had the album, but
it's a nice score.
Yeah, you got to pick it up when you see it. I found Noel Interstice, an autographed copy of it, which I will be sending to you for your birthday. My In Flames Horacle album finally came in. And funny story about that, I ended up canceling it because it still hadn't shown up as saying shipped from Amazon. And so I canceled it and ordered it from somebody else. I don't even remember who I ordered it from, but they had it in stock. And so it's in my possession.
Blast Beats, maybe?
It was not Blast Beats. I would have remembered that one. It's like In Groove Records or something like that. I don't know. I just did a Google search and found somebody that said in stock. So then, like I said earlier, I bought my tickets to go see Blackbraid, Dodds Rit, and Lamp of Murmur in Minneapolis, which will be, I think it was October 5th, I want to say. I think it's a Sunday. But it'll be up in Minneapolis.
Nice. Well, I haven't really been buying a whole lot. I haven't had much come in. Pretty much the only thing I did get was the In Flames Horacle album, which it's a remaster, and it sounds incredible. It sounds so good. A very, very well done remaster. So very happy with that. But aside from that, I haven't really bought anything lately. Nothing that I loved enough from the past 2 weeks was available on vinyl.
Yeah.
So
that's actually why I went to
It's kind of a small week for pickups.
That's actually why I went to a local record store and flipping through their used section.
Understandable. All right. Well, then that does it for pickups. Let's go ahead and move into our submission. So this is actually a submission from me. Normally we have bands writing in and everything, but this particular guy who goes by the name of Voragoth, I've been following him on Instagram for a couple of years now. He's an incredibly talented musician, very funny. We have a lot of the same music tastes. He's constantly posting his process videos of how he writes music, how he comes up with riffs, how he comes up with drum beats and everything. And it's really fascinating to watch his growth as a musician. He's released a couple of songs that are finished products, and he's working on his first album. But the first track he released is one called Renegades, and holy shit, it's amazing. It's melodic black metal from Croatia. It came out back around Christmas time last year, but I've heard it a couple of times, and I kept seeing him come across my feed the last couple of days, and I was like, we've never really talked about this guy on the show, and I like his music so much, and I really enjoy his social media online presence, so I figured I'd give him a shout out. We'd play the song, and hopefully people will check him out and follow him. Christian, what did you think of this? Because you're new to hearing this.
Well, when I first heard it, I thought it was a submission. I didn't know it was somebody you had already known. And so, like, when I first heard it, I messaged you right away, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is hands down the best fucking submission we've had yet. Like, holy fuck, this guy's talented. This should be on an album. And then you told me it's like, yeah, you've known the guy for a little while. And so, yeah, this is really, really good. Shockingly good. I really shouldn't say shockingly because it's not like I know the guy. But for it being like in our submission section, this is probably the best song we've had in our submission section. So yeah.
I'd agree with that. For the submission section, we try to highlight new musicians or bands that aren't well known or small bands that are just starting out. So a lot of what we've played, well, all of it's been really good. Some of it's just not quite as polished or up to that level yet. Some of it is, but this particular one,
this is ready.
It's a banger of a track. So yeah, it's ready, and he's so talented. It's only a matter of time before he releases the album, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. So. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoy it, and go follow him. It's at Voragoth on all social media. But again, the band is Voragoth. The track is called Renegades, and we will see you guys back in a couple of weeks.
Episode 41 in the books. Let's go. See ya.